Fish farms, okay? They noticed that if you increase the amount of the dissolved oxygen in the water, it can enhance the growth of the fish. But they realized that you cannot put the oxygen bubbles into the water, simply into the water, because as you know, this trapping of gas bubbles in the living body is really fatal. So you cannot do that. But they realized that if you reduce the size of the gas bubbles to nano size, it can flow freely in the animal's blood veins or the plant capillaries. So that's how this was developed in Japan. And it's applied also biowaste treatment to enhance the methane production from aerobic and anaerobic digestion. Okay? And also it has been used for drug delivery. So inclusion of the hydrophobic drugs in nanobubbles, okay? Most of the drugs are actually has a surface wettability, hydrophobic wettability, so you cannot really disperse easily in just water or bloodstream. So you can include in very tiny nanobubble inside the nanobubbles so that it can be delivered properly in the human body, everywhere in human body. And it has been used for mineral processing, for enhanced attachment of the desired mineral particles for flotation purposes. Then, why is nanobubble potentially useful for the upstream oil industry? Because even without using stabilizer, such as surfactant or nanoparticles, it can remain stable for days and sometimes for months, amazingly, depending on the condition. And it can contain a very large mass of gas, for example, more than 20 times of the thermodynamic solubility of gas. Significantly reduce the Oswald ripening, which is what I just described actually, and allow long-term integrity of nanobubbles. Okay? So that's why, as shown on the top right-hand corner, these nanobubbles can stay, for example, like 140 days with a size around 100, slightly smaller than 100 nanometers. Okay. Another important point from a kinetic point of view is that nanobubble surface is generally electrically charged, especially for CO2 with carbonyl anion, to the extent that the nanobubble dispersion has a reasonably long-term dispersion stability. Charge regulation happens on the surface of the shrinking bubbles. I'm not going to into detail about this, or theoretical detail about this. And then the weak van der Waals attraction between bubbles also helps the long-term stability of nanobubbles. And then another thing which we need more study is the attachment of nanoparticles to the nanobubbles can significantly enhance the nanobubble stability. This is something we need to study further. So nanobubbles stability without use of stabilizer, we believe it's real. So that's why we're very much excited about this topic and looking into its application potential. So moving on to the nanobubbles for CCUS and hydrogen storage. For CO2-based EOR processes, it can be used as the mobility control bank in lieu of the water in WAC. That is a water alternating gas process uses small bank of water, gas. Instead of the water, we can utilize this nano bubble dispersed water. And then, or in lieu of this surfactant like the CO2 form. Okay. Then nano bubbles in water enhance transfer of CO2 to all phase, reducing the notorious water blocking effect, which has been studied extensively in this department by, for example, with the publication of classical paper by Dr. Lake. Okay, and for secure delivery of CO2 to the target sequestration volume, again utilizing the novel mobility control scheme. Okay, we can in the reservoir. We cannot just simply inject the CO2 because it's a very low viscosity. So we need to have some form of the mobility control, and this wax scheme using CO2 nanobubbles can do the job. Okay, and additionally, the supersaturation in water also enhances the kinetics of CO2 mineralization. And this has a potential to significantly increase the solubility trapping and mineral trapping. I'm not going to detail, but for the CO2 trapping in the subsurface formations, there are 4 known important trapping mechanisms, and solubility trapping and mineral trapping is most important mechanism, and nano bubble dispersion can help increase and help to accelerate these trapping mechanisms activation. And then for secure delivery of hydrogen to target storage volume utilizing the novel mobility control scheme. So even though there's active research going on, I'm not going to talk about the details because Dr. Okuno will publish it soon. Okay. And next question is, can you change the wettability of nanobubbles like you can with nanoparticles? Our focus at the moment is that we want to use nanobubbles without use of surfactant or stabilizing nanoparticles because of the mainly environmental reasons. Okay, so the thing which is exciting about the nanobubble is it can stay stable for quite a long time without use of surfactant. So we want to do that, but there's a literature saying that with a small amount of surfactant usage, actually the nanobubble stability can be increased. So that's next step. We or some other people look into it. So that's actually quite interesting aspect. What volume fraction of nanobubbles can be achieved? At the moment, probably about 20%. Yeah. One of the big tasks is how to increase amount of this nanobubble density in the water. So that's an important question we need to satisfy. Next question is, will nanobubbles stay stable on the high pressure and temperature? We haven't tested in very high temperature, but high pressure, yes. Actually, high pressure is better. Thank you for a very interesting presentation. These are all very exciting ideas and applications. Thank you. I share your enthusiasm. Are they economical to apply in actual field operations, or are they still in research development phase? In Japan, they're trying to actually inject nanobubble. Okay, they are actually pushing this very hard. Okay, and it's at the moment mostly it's in research and development stage, but its application in the field will come very fast. That's what I believe, and Dr. Okuno believes. Thanks for all for attending, for participating in this webinar. And even though I fully admit that it's a very incomplete discussion of the nanoparticles and nanobubbles, but still, I want to just convey my strong desire to utilize this technology for the purpose of just reducing petroleum's footprint on the environment. That's my strong desire. With that, I'll finish my talk. Thank you very much.